kelasnya.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Good afternoon. First of all, let us thank our Almighty God for His blessings, so that today we could be here together to attend the proposal seminar of Yuni Hertiwi entitled Students' Perceptions on Learning English through CNN channels, a focus on speaking in the listening for information and leisure course. To shorten the time, I would like to invite Yuni to present the proposal. Time is yours.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank my supervisor, examiner, and the English as moderator, and for being here today. And also I want to thank my friends for your time for supporting me. And it's really an honor for me to be here to present my research proposal entitled Student Perception on Learning English through CNN channels, a focus on speaking in the listening for information and leisure course. Before I explain the background, I would like to share the reason why I choose this topic. Actually, I experienced learning myself when I took the listening for information and leisure course. During the time, we use CNN news video for our authentic materials, and then I found that the method helped me a lot, not only for improving my listening skill but also my speaking confidence. And because I couldn't hear how real native speakers speaking English in real life situation, so I dedicate myself to do this research to explore how students perceive the use of CNN news video in learning English, especially for improving their speaking skills. And for the background, it conducted, as I mentioned, by Hoang 2022. They show that in digital era, many EFL students still struggle to speak English fluently and confidently because in their classroom learning often emphasize the grammar rather than real life communication. So it is supported by study such as Yuni and Fitra in 2021 that show that students' speaking ability remains slower than their other language skills. And then I believe that using authentic material is very important because they show that how language is actually used in real life communication like native speaker. And it's support with Noonan 1999 and Gilmore 2007 that authentic media like CNN news video over real example of language use. It helping learners for improving their pronunciation, vocabulary, and then the fluency. And then the good news that at the University, CNN video are used in the listening for information and leisure course to link the listening and speaking practice. But just a little research has examined how students perceive this method. So that's why it's important to me to explore how their views on the effectiveness of CNN video for developing their speaking skills. And then for the research problem, although the authentic material like CNN video have been introduced in English language learning, many students still face the challenges in developing their speaking confidence and fluency because most study about authentic material just focus on the listening comprehension and then leaving the limited understanding of how such as media effect for speaking performance. So that's why I get the research question: what are the students' perception about using CNN to improve their speaking skills? And for the research objective, first, to identify the student opinions and their attitudes toward learning English through the CNN videos, and then second, to examine the perceived benefit of using CNN News video for improving speaking fluency, vocabulary, and pronunciation. The third, to explore the challenges students experience while learning with CNN. That's the best materials. And then the last, to understand how authentic media influence student motivation and judgment in speaking activities. And then the theoretical framework from Carson.
Just keep it. Ya, sampai malam kita kalau kau baca. Straight to chapter 3.
So, move to the chapter 3, the research methodology. This research employs a qualitative descriptive approach and exploring and describing student perception in the natural classroom context. And then qualitative description provides a detailed and accurate account of participant experience without manipulating the variables. And then this research does not test hypotheses but focus on the interpreting student views about learning English through CNN News video as authentic materials. And then this research is conducted in English Education Study Program, Faculty of Teacher Training in Education in Tadulako University. It involves students from the 2022 cohort because this class have completed the listening for information and leisure course, which CNN video were integrated as a part of their authentic learning material. So that's why I choose this class for my participants. And the data collection technique. The data were collected through two instruments. First, a questionnaire, and then the second, semi-structured interview. The questionnaire distributed via Google form with 20 yes/no question, and then to 20 until 25 students gather general perception of using CNN video in developing their speaking skill. And then the interviews were conducted with 6 purposefully selected students to gain the deeper information about their perspective into their experience and the challenges. And for the data analysis technique, questionnaire data were analyzed descriptively using percentage to summarize student overall perception. And then for the interview data were analyzed thematic based on the Brown Carkle 2006 model involving identify, coding and interpreting recurring themes. Yeah, I think that's all for me. I turn back to the main text. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now I would like to invite the audience to deliver questions. Please.
Any question?
Any question? No questions?
Ya terserah nanti kita lihat.
Now I'd like to invite the key reviewer, Dr. Andes Mokhtar Mahrum, MED, PhD. Please,
Well,
sir, time is yours.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Chairperson. Ibu Base MPD, SPD MPD. And good afternoon, everyone. Okay, I'm interested in your research topic dealing with students' perception on learning English through CNN channels. Yeah? You have novelty content since you are also dealing with digital technology, the use of platform, yeah, channel of news, or can be YouTube channel or TV channel. Okay, authentic. That's what I always remind students to use authentic materials for students, just to remind students and colleagues to pay close attention to authentic materials when we learn English. Many experts in LT, researchers or educators, they emphasize on authentic materials when dealing with oral skill, speaking skill. Because if we don't use authentic materials, then the learners will speak English in stilted. Like foreigner, when they learn Bahasa Indonesia, they use good Bahasa Indonesia, very good, standardized, but sound stilted, not authentic, not communicative. Orang bule belajar Bahasa Indonesia, dia biasa bilang, apakah Anda sudah sarapan pagi pada hari ini? That's good language, but not authentic, not communicative. Yeah. Sudahkah Anda menyelesaikan pekerjaan rumahnya Profesor Kondir Manurung di PhD? Itu betul, itu bahasa Inggris buku. Nah, when I check your proposal, I found many authentic materials, very good. Yeah. When you mention the student enroll, not program enroll, ya. When the students memprogramkan mata kuliah, they enroll the course kalau di sana course mata kuliah, ya. Kalau di sini kursus. Nah, itu bukan bahasa Inggris otentik, itu bahasa Inggris terjemahan. That's why one of the famous billionaire from China, when he learn English, his English is very fluent. But when he was a beginner, he spoke English with broken English. And nowadays, he has given lots of motivation to learners of English to use English in English style. Do not translate the language. If you just, when the learners learn speaking, they must change their style, their mind to English style. Yeah. No, our influenced by our mother tongue. Okay, CNN. That's very good. Nowadays, students can learn English through native speakers, because when you deal with oral skill, you are supposed to imitate, to be near native. Yeah. Because we are often influenced by our first language when we learn second language or third language. Yeah. Authentic digital content. Students have access to learn speaking with the native speaker accent like intonation, by using AI, yeah, a robotic tool. Yeah. You can learn speaking with the native intonation, native pronunciation. Very good. Okay, now go on. Problem statement. Your research question, what are the students' perception about using? You can have more than one research question, since you employ qualitative approach as well. So in qualitative approach, researcher looking at the process, not the product, not the numerical data or the result, but the process. So you can have more than just look at the process. Okay, go on. Separate your research question from the main paragraph. So put the research question below and write it in single space line, not double space line, and write it in italic, yeah, like mirroring. Okay, go on. Related research. Okay, just move on to the next. Yeah. Good for authentic materials refer to the real life text. That's good. not for instruction, but I would emphasize that it is better to teach learners with authentic materials when dealing with oral skills, when dealing with spoken language, especially. Okay, go on. Not in the Tadulako University, in the University of Tadulako. If you use Tadulako University without in the University of Adelaide, the University of Flinders, Flinders University without that, Sydney University, New York University, the University of New York. Yes. So Tadulako University. If you use the Tadulako, then you Tadulako, the University of Tadulako. That's when you use the University of Tadulako. Okay. English, everyday communication, social context. Yeah. Learners have a lot of access to learn speaking, especially accent, intonation, near native pronunciation. Nowadays, in the digital age, by using digital technology, they can use podcasts, news videos, YouTube channels, TikTok. But TikTok, when you have premium as a subscribe to premium, then you have more than 10 minutes the duration of videos. But when you just have free of charge, then you have limited duration of videos play. Okay, now go on. Yeah, video-based learning, theoretical foundation. Go on next. Native speakers. That's why the students are encouraged to speak English near native, to look like native speakers. It reminds me a friend of mine, a Malaysian student, when I spoke English to him through the phone, I thought he was near native in terms of very. In fact, he was Chinese Malaysian, but his English is very near native. That's what, and most people in Malaysia speak English as second language. They are influenced by their mother tongue, Malay language, with the accent. Yeah. But my friend spoke English very fluent and near native. Okay. Well, when I check your research method or research methodology, I would suggest you to include mixed method. Since you use questionnaire is a survey, and survey is a quantitative, dealing with numerical data, statistical data, numbers, although it is descriptive statistic, but still dealing with numerical data. So, and I check your reference, and you use Creswell. Creswell is is the author of mixed method. John Creswell and David Creswell, both father and son. So you can include mixed method. Questionnaire, as I mentioned, questionnaire is identified as survey. It's a survey research and dealing with numerical data as well. Okay, next. Research setting, that's very good. Research setting and participant. Setting means time and location, in qualitative approach. Participants, how many? You mentioned you are going to do to interview to have interview. In the interview, how many informants are you going to interview?
6.
Sorry,
6.
too many. You can have 4. Reduce to 4. You don't need to have more informants. You can have 4, but they should meet the criteria as informants. Those to be interviewed later on. They must be trustworthy, can be trusted, and they are knowledgeable. They know much about your research study, your research topic. That's 2 criteria of informants. Well, you need to have a separate section, a short separate or brief section on informant. Your informant. Describe briefly the informants that you are going to interview. Okay, freedom. Data collect. Go on. Data analysis. Yeah, the data analysis. Well, the main instrument of qualitative data collection are documentary data, observation, and interview, in-depth interview. But it's up to you. Up to the supervisor. You need to talk to your supervisor later on. When you deal with documentary data and participant observation, you have ongoing data analysis. It's different from dealing with in-depth interview and questionnaires. You analyze the data after collecting the questionnaire, and you analyze the data after having interviews session. But if you include participant observation and documentary data in qualitative approach, as you do here, qualitative approach, you have mentioned here. Well, you can have you can also have triangulation. If you have qualitative data, you employ qualitative data just to strengthen your data. In quantitative, they have validity and reliability, but in qualitative, to strengthen the data, to confirm the data, the researcher must use triangulation. So that's why you need to include triangulation, flow charts of triangulation. Okay, trustworthiness of the research. Do you know, that's what I just mentioned. When you interview the informants, they must meet the criteria. They are trustworthy and knowledgeable, meaning that they are trustworthy. You can trust them. They will tell the truth. When you interview, they will tell you the truth. No deception, no lie. Jadi yang diwawancara harus betul-betul bisa dipercaya, tidak balekos, tidak bakong orang sini yang bohong. Apa yang dia bilang nyata, betul. Itu yang dibilang. Informan harus trustworthy, bisa dipercaya. Kemudian knowledgeable, informan harus punya pengetahuan tentang topik penelitian Anda, sehingga Anda bisa bicara lebih luas, bisa you can probe and insight. Nanti wawancaranya probing and inciting, provokasi supaya dia ngomong banyak. You need to probe the informants, do probing and inciting, buat dia make it him or her talkative. Jadi orang informan itu harus cerewet dan banyak yang dia tahu, and tell you the truths and the facts. So your data will be rich. Tapi kalau Anda tidak pancing, if you don't probe or incite the informants, they don't speak a lot. They don't give you much information on your research, on the perception, on their perception. So you need to probe, dig the question. That's why it is better to use WH question in your interview. Kalau kau cuma pakai yes no question, tidak rich datanya. Apakah Anda, bagaimana pendapat Anda? Ya, itu masih bisa. Tapi kalau apakah Anda menganggap belajar bahasa Inggris melalui channel YouTube CNN menarik? Dia bilang iya. Karena yes no kan. Kalau dia bilang tidak menarik, kenapa tidak kejar? Kalau even though you use yes no question and the informants will give you short answer, then you need to probe and dig. Ya, gali pertanyaan, insight sampai dia beri jawaban yang banyak berdasarkan tema, ya. Oke, ethical consideration. Wah, ini sudah bagus internasional ya. Dulu belum ada ethical consideration. Kalau di luar negeri sudah lama ethical considerations. Ya. Ya. Karena orang meneliti tidak sembarang ya. Apa kasus di Kendari yang lalu menyinggung suku ya. Suku Bugis apa? Hampir terjadi karena ada ketersinggungan apa. Jadi dibaca juga, jangan sampai penelitian Anda sensitif, ya, menyinggung suku tertentu tanpa Anda harus bertanggungjawabkan research Anda. Okay, that's it. Now, yeah, your interview. You need to memorize the theme. Temanya harus dihafal sebenarnya. Karena kualitatif interviewer, dia mirip wartawan, just like a journalist. Anda tidak baca ini sebenarnya, tapi kalau pemula bisa baca. Kalau macam saya cuma hafal tema, baru saya bicara, ada saya mau di YouTube saya wawancara pada saat. Ya, jadi santai-santai tapi menggali pertanyaan, lalu rekam. Kalau mau lebih rekam video atau rekam tanpa video, audio, just audio, without not audio visual. You must record, ya. Dan dia harus verbatim. The transcript that you are supposed to make later must be verbatim. Tahu verbatim? Anda belum lahir ada disket namanya verbatim. Apa yang dia bilang, mau post atau apa, pokoknya apa saja yang muncul dari mulutnya itu dibuat transkrip dan disalin. Itu yang bilang verbatim. Oke. Jadi Anda seperti kalau pewawancara itu mirip jurnalis atau penyidik polisi. Dia banyak bertanya, menggali pertanyaan. Itu peneliti kualitatif. Well, that's it. Now it's back to the chairperson.
Thank you very much.
Grace.
Thank you very much, the reviewer, Sir Mokhtar, for the suggestions and insights. And now I would like to invite the supervisor,
Tidak ada mensur.
Sir Masyuri, SPD, MA. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Yeah, congratulations, Yuni, Hertiwi, for joining us, presenting your proposal today. I would also like to highlight some of the important points, I guess, that we had to take from the peer reviewer regarding authentic material. Authentic material for me is very important because that reflects the way the native speaks the language, not what we want, the way we want to use the language, but the way they use the language. So that we have to learn from them. Yeah. And then there are so many media that can now be used to be able to expose our student to authentic material, videos, and then also listening to radios can also be one of those that can be essential for the student to learn. You said that in your instrument there will be two, questionnaire and interview. And of course you're gonna start with questionnaire first and then interview. And then how will you, how will you decide what, who is going to be the one sitting for the interview? Because you said that, as suggested also by the review, on 4 informants should be enough.
With the grades, the grade from the course, and then with how they give an answer to me about the questionnaire, and then the first to know the questions, to identify what characteristic can we I can interview them first from the grade in listening for information and leisure course, and then after that I see their answer from the questionnaire.
Yeah, like take for instance the instrument questionnaire instrument number 1. I enjoy learning English through CNN news videos, and then he or she answers yes, and then how will you then
And then I
develop this into interview?
Based on experience, I'm in the class in the class, so I know where the student active in the class. So yeah, I choose them for the interview.
Yeah, I think you should choose them based on information that you think essential, yet less being addressed in the question. So you need to dig down more. Yeah. So there are information. I enjoy learning English through CNN news videos, and then you're gonna say, in what ways, in what kinds of do you like the language? Do you like the topic, or something like that? So based on the information, if there are information that you think most important, yet it is not being addressed well in the questionnaire instrument, then you can go further, asking more related to that information in the interview. Yeah. So it is better in the questionnaire also you provide you base the question based on the theme. Ada tema-temanya gitu ya, tema-temanya. Kemudian nanti it's easy that way that you can address which should be discussed more in the interview. Then that's why I think the interview questions should be varied. Yeah, you should provide more interview question here to anticipate for what is the information that you think important that they have to deal with in your interview session. Okay. And then, 20 to 25 students here, you said. Your policy
Based on the students, with Yuni and the 25, and answer the questionnaire.
But here, academic year, what academic year do they belong? Academic year, participants selected from class C 2022. Participants have direct experience using semantic part of the classroom learning. Class C. You have to be specific about the number because you said here you took class C 2022. How many of the students in that particular class?
25.
25.
Yes.
Yeah. You don't say approximately because you have indicated the exact class in it here. Apa kemudian nanti ditentukan for the interview. Make sure that I think it used to be very difficult to transcribe. Nowadays you have application which is very helpful for transcription. Maybe you can pay 1 month. Yeah, that's okay. Apalagi nama I forget the name, but they will give it exact, or it will record exactly like the term verbatim, which is you will write every single detail that is being informed by the participant in the class. And I also agree to say that this is questions. You can go for 2 questions.
More than one.
Yeah. This way that you can add 1 more question related to the information there. You can have more than 1 question for this. Yeah. I think that is all that I can share. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Right, thank you very much, Sir Mashuri. And since we don't have Ibu Sukma here, so for Yuni Hertiwi, you have got the suggestions and insights from your supervisor and key reviewer. And for Ibu Sukma, you may contact her personally to get your suggestions from her. And now let me read the berita acara in bahasa. Berita acara seminar proposal penelitian. Kami yang bertanda tangan di bawah ini menerangkan dengan sebenarnya bahwa nama Yuni Hertiwi, stambuk A121-22120, program studi pendidikan bahasa Inggris, telah menyelenggarakan seminar proposal penelitian pada hari Senin, tanggal 27 bulan 10 tahun 2025 pukul 1 WITA dengan judul Students' Perceptions on Learning English Through CNN Channels, a focus on speaking in the Listening for Information and Leisure course. Hasil penelitian, proposal telah cukup baik, namun masih perlu disempurnakan dan dilengkapi dengan instrumen sebelum dapat dipergunakan sebagai dasar untuk melaksanakan pengumpulan data di lapangan. Tidak perlu seminar lagi. And we have come to